Welcome to Know, I'm Jon Risinger.
And happy International Women's Day.
Ghost Recon Wildlands is sitting at a decent 80 on Metacritic, with reviews still coming in after yesterday's launch. However, one bit of criticism the game picked up by a number of outlets was that it was chock full of good old-fashioned Ubisoft bugs. And now that Wildlands is out in the wild, I got that. Players are discovering that for themselves. Most of the threads in the Ghost Recon forums are now about bugs and issues plaguing the game. Ubisoft has started cataloging all the issues in one place, and boy, there are a lot of them. These technical glitches range from AI vehicle pathfinding, resulting in lots of head-on collisions on the highway of Bolivia, bosses not responding after mission fails, pre-order codes not working, FPS drops on Xbox One and PC players being locked out of the game just totally. Ubisoft's just gonna keep being Ubisoft. If you're holding out hope that Naughty Dog's got one last Uncharted rodeo in them after the upcoming Lost Legacy DLC, think again. In a new interview with Game Informer, Naughty Dog co-president Evan Wells said that you probably shouldn't expect them to give the franchise another entry. Wells said, "I would say that Naughty Dog doing an Uncharted after this is unlikely. We really love the franchise, but the studio has limited resources and lots of other ideas. I'd say the likelihood is low. But don't get too broken up about it, because Lost Legacy is shaping up to be an excellent adventure in the Uncharted universe. According to the developers, the new chapter will feature more open world exploration, including the largest level they've ever put into an Uncharted game, even bigger than Madagascar in Uncharted 4. Yesterday, reports surfaced that Nintendo had pulled the Switch dock from its online store, leading some to believe the company had done so as a response to gamers complaining that the dock was easily scratching Switch screens. But now Nintendo has said that's not the case. The company said in a statement to Gizmodo, the dock wasn't pulled from the replacement refurbishment store. It's out of stock. As previously announced, the Nintendo Switch dock set, which includes the dock, an HDMI cable, and an AC adapter, will be released spring 2017. But that's not all the company is talking about in regards to the Switch. Today, COO Reggie Fils-Aimé responded to another big criticism of the console, saying that Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon will in fact be coming to Switch in time. Fils-Aimé went on to say, in our view, these are not differentiators. What differentiates us is the way you play with the Nintendo Switch and what you can play. And that will continue to be our focus into the future as we continue driving this platform. But it's not all criticisms for the Switch this week. In the wake of news that Switch could be approaching better launch numbers than any Nintendo console ever, it turns out that its launch lineup might rank among the greats as well. Finder.com.au released a report this week showing that the Switch has the second best reviewed launch lineup of any console ever. Their report averages the Metacritic scores for launch day games across every console launch, and in total, Switch's 9 launch day games average 75.89. The highest ever belongs to the GameCube. Didn't see that one coming, whose 12 games averaged a 78.17. It's of course worth noting that Breath of the Wild's 98 is doing a whole lot of legwork to bring up that average, you know? The biggest question, of course, is what comes after that launch lineup, and so far, the console is looking very good for indies. So good, in fact, that indies had some great things to say about their early interactions with Nintendo. GamesIndustry.biz spoke to a number of indie devs about working with Nintendo on the Switch, with the CEO of Image and Form Games, developers of SteamWorld Dig 2, saying, "We've been treated like royalty." That's certainly welcome news after the divide we've seen between Nintendo and indie developers in previous generations. Looks like Khal Drogo will be playing another badass soon. I like this news. Gizmodo reports that Jason Momoa has signed up to star in a movie adaptation of Just Cause, in which he'll play a super skilled operative for a shadowy group called the Agency. Momoa also stars as Aquaman in the Justice League movie, and the Just Cause movie will be directed by Brad Payton, who did San Andreas and the upcoming adaptation of the Rampage video game. Could they at least let him bring his Aquaman, his Aquaman Trident along? I mean, other people in the movie be like, well, aren't you supposed to be a secret agent? What's the pitchfork for? And then he just stab him and rip his shirt off, and then everybody be fine. This is the second Square Enix movie to sign on for a movie deal in recent news. Last week saw the reveal of a Sleeping Dogs movie as well. We'll see if they can translate the pure insanity of Just Cause's gameplay onto the big screen. Here's hoping for just lots of Momoa showing off his pecs, grappling onto jets and blowing all kinds of shit up. So today is March 8th. Remember that supposed leaker on Reddit who claimed to be an employee of Warner Brothers about to be laid off and fed up enough to leak an entire new Batman Arkham game called Batman Arkham Insurgency that would be revealed on March 8th? Yeah. So we expressed some pretty significant doubts at the time since the source wouldn't corroborate things like employment, even under condition of anonymity. And the first pin in that balloon was the announcement for Shadow of War, the follow-up to Shadow of Mordor. But now, it's 100% confirmed false because there is a proper game reveal out from Warner Bros. Today, but it's the gameplay debut for Shadow of War, not the claimed Arkham title. So, out with Arkham Insurgency, in with Shadow War and the return of the Nemesis system. Will the Metal Gear Solid movie break the fourth wall? It's a possibility, says the director. While the movie based on the series is still in development, its director, Jordan Vogt Roberts, talked to IGN about his vision for the movie. Vogt Roberts, who directed the upcoming Kong, Skull Island, said he's considering whether to include fourth wall breaking sections, reminiscent of Psycho Mantis and Metal Gear Solid, who occasionally would speak directly to the audience. Vogt Roberts said, I actually do think that considering breaking the fourth wall is an important part of potentially what the movie would be. I think things like Deadpool have actually shown that you can play with that conceit these days, but he added, to me, the fourth wall breaking is a little less important than the walking philosophies and ideologies those characters represent, and getting that right and the tone right and things like that. More like Metal Gear Solid, am I right? And he added that he's a huge Sniper Wolf fan and said we might get Cyborg Ninja in the movie. So yeah, let's just all start fanboying just right away. Looks like Marvel might have a rare dud on its hands. The reviews are coming in for the upcoming Iron Fist series on Netflix, and they are not so kind. If you're not familiar, the series stars Danny Rand as a martial arts badass who returns to New York to get control of his family business. But it looks like the Iron Fist series doesn't have the Marvel magic like its siblings Luke Cage and Daredevil did, at least according to critics. Polygon said, I'm not surprised that Iron Fist isn't a comedy. I'm surprised that it's so bad, and it is laughably bad. And Variety was even worse, saying it takes forever for anything to happen on Iron Fist, and as it stumbles along, the uninspired production design, unexceptional cinematography, and painful dialogue fail to distract the viewer from the overall lack of depth, detail, or momentum. Good luck, bingers. Getting through 2 episodes was a challenge. Iron Fist debuts on Netflix March 17 if you want to see what all the hate is about. Looks like Nintendo just got a bunch of gold coins from a flashcard distributor. Gamasutra reports that Nintendo was awarded about $9.5 million by a Canadian court following a legal dispute with the website Go Cyber Shopping and Jeremy King, who was accused of distributing flashcards and mod chips that could copy and store illegally obtained games. This isn't the first time Nintendo has gone after copyright abusers. A few months ago, it sent a DMCA takedown to a company whose software allegedly let users bypass the official Nintendo 3DS eShop, which Nintendo said let users play games for free. Basically, Nintendo saying, sorry freeloaders, but our lawyers are in this castle and they would like to speak to you. You're in trouble. Bad news, Americans, we aren't banging enough. I'm doing my best, okay? A new study, according to Gizmodo, says that compared with the early 2000s, Americans rode the Boney Express fewer times per year in the early 2010s. Yep, we said the Boney Express on the news. According to the General Social Survey, which includes data from 25,000 people, Americans put the wand in the Chamber of Secrets 62 times a year from 2000 to 2004, but from 2010 to 2014, we only crashed the custard truck 54 times. That's 8 times fewer. That's 8 fewer times we've baked the potato. What is wrong with you? San Diego State University psych professor John Twenge, I'm gonna just go with that, who studied the results, attributes the decline to fewer married couples and also cites declines in happiness and increase in depression, which is a bummer. Let's turn this around. Everybody get out there and put condensed milk on the waffle. Ride the Bologna Express. Clean the cobwebs out of the womb room. Hey, go fuck more. That's for the news. If you liked it, you should like this video and be sure to subscribe to the nose. The no? This is what happens when women go away. You had to have been just giggling just at your keyboard.
For some reason, I left off Assault the Pink Fortress. I thought that was too much.
That's a bit.